I don't really know what they mean by prison. They say hull. I wouldn't say hell, but I'd say a lot worse than what I feel they've experienced. So Helen Crawford and Dorothy Cole Margaret Third, someone stayed out of it. There was going to be three of them. See that guy there with the beard? He's a person of interest. I need him targeted. And all of, I think it's the Mirror, Daily Mail, and others for complicity in covering up child sexual exploitation for what they would term more favourable victims. So let's get them targeted for hoarding lists of victims, allowing other victims, including me, to be continually abused in childcare. So let's still go after the media and let's find out what's at the back of these people, because she has some of the physical appearances, like black hair, of my abusers as well. I'm not saying she's one of them, but she could have been one of the parasites that turned up later.
I have spent the last 17 years in my own prison for what she, Jeffrey, and all the co-conspirators did to me. I was raped repeatedly. I was raped 3 times a day sometimes.
That's out of sync.
And I was not the only girl on that island.
She's out of sync.
Was a constant stream of girls
I need that guy investigated right there. That one right there.
Raped over and over and over again. And yes, Ghislaine must die in prison.
Because that's out of sync.
I've been in hell and back for the last 17 years.
And 27 for me.
I was 10 years.
There you go, look. Even the same colour here. I wonder if the size difference is the same between Helen Crawford and Dorothy Cole or Cole. They both look like offenders. Then there was Bunty from, I think it's called Whitfield Rise Maltese. She reminded me of one of the nuns that violently assaulted me because I wouldn't have sex with her.
Years old when Liz Stein was being trafficked. I was 10.
So I'll need, because my brother Ian was speaking of his wife going to Australia, actually she does even in some ways sound like Pirates of the Caribbean. What's that guy's called? I forget his name. You know, that guy that plays the Sparrow. I think it's Jack Sparrow or something. Yeah, I'd look into these people that are flanking them. The other thing you need to look into is where's Gouffre's money? Where and who was it actually intended for?
Long the sex trafficking ring has been going on. I have spent the last 7.
So anyway, let me check how much. 358. That's trauma. So if you want to see what trauma is or does to a person, yeah, I've had 2 wires put into my arteries and main vein in each wrist from the right and left. For cardiologists, and what happens, they have to give me a sedative, a relaxant, basically, because trauma causes you to convulse. So even when they put needles into me to draw blood and other things, even inject me with stuff, the needles would pop out and it'd be a loud pop. So ask about that. And also think about people on death row. You know, when they can't find a vein, because your veins in trauma naturally contract. to prevent the loss of blood. So if you're in an altercation with, say, an animal or a person attacks you, your vessels withdraw. They contract to prevent, obviously, to prevent blood loss due to injury and that. That's trauma. You see, they have to, before they put that tube into my throat, they have to sedate me completely. They cannot even insert it with a sedative. Okay, that's absolute fact. If you look into some people in death row, they struggle to find veins, even arteries, to put the lethal chemicals into them. Now that was me in 2015, when those types of abuses had actually stopped. You know, the most extreme abuse and trauma and absolute fear, terrified of being murdered and dying in childcare. Okay, they just see me as a peculiarity, a very interesting case. That's why I don't engage with psychiatric services. And there's a right bunch of fucking weirdos in all the services, the public services. You need to be very careful. There's some people that would, like the Elephant Man, they would put you in a cage, in a museum. That's abuse of a corpse. See that British Museum? It should be sued. It should be prosecuted. It should be made to pay a huge fine for displaying human remains.